Hey guys, so let's add damage to our magic projectiles, and we're also going to set it up so it automatically selects correct material and an effect based on the damage type we have on the staff. And before we do that, I just want to do a couple of small adjustments, because now, for example, we have stamina cost still when we are attacking with the staff, so I want to remove it. For that, we need to go to player blueprint and here find the left mouse button event in a combat graph. And here we do have this can execute action and have enough stamina. So what we want to do, we want to remove this, so Control and X. And we just want to copy the can execute action to this, or is aiming, because without this the aiming for the bow won't actually work, or we can execute action. But then we can just paste it after this switch. We don't need this end. Instead we will get a branch, so B and click and hold Control and transfer all this to the beginning of the branch. And this will be the condition if you have enough stamina, and then we will connect it here. But again, we can't disconnect the stuff and have it here because it's still checking if we have enough stamina, so we need to skip it. But we do need this set current action tag. So what I want to do is disconnect this, and we'll move this first. So modify current stat and then set current action tag and move here. And then what we can do on the staff is just connect it directly here to set current action tag. There we go. And this will just basically skip the stamina cost. So now when I'm attacking with the staff, there we go, 1, 2, 3, it's not costing any stamina. That's working fine. But now what I've noticed is it's not very smooth when I'm attacking. As you can see, when I'm spamming left mouse button, there is big gaps. And it is just a bit clunky, it doesn't feel that smooth. So what I'm going to do, just move the can execute action slightly on all of them. So let's go to third person animations, staff, and staff combo. And here, as you can see, I have it here, but the character is not doing really anything after this part, so I'm going to move it up again and adjust it. Here I'm going to do the same thing. And same thing here. I'll even move the combo just in case so it switches in time. Alright. Save that. Because I really want to have that fast feel of this combat with the stuff, especially 1, 2, 3. There we go, that looks much better. So it's like fast attacks and we can rotate between them. Yeah, that's much better. And now for the damage. So let's start with actually passing the correct damage type. So in the player we do have spawn magic projectile, or whatever it's called. Spawn magic projectile, yeah. Double click to open it. And here we need to tell the projectile what damage type we actually have on the stuff. For that, we're going to get attached equipment info, which is all of the item info on the attached equipment. We're going to find equipment on index 0, which is main hand, at least for me. That's where the stuff is equipped. And then we're going to break it open. And from here we can just hide unconnected pins, and we only need base stats. And from the base stats we can get keys. And now one recommendation I would have is always on the stuff you should have damage type first in the base stats, because that way we can just do get a copy on index 0 and that will get the first stat. And that is our stat that we can connect here to damage type. So if your damage type won't be first on the staff, it will get completely different stat, and here it won't be in the magic projectile. That stat won't be able to actually set the correct material or anything. If you wanted to have it on the random one, what you could also do is you could actually get in combat component, we get array of damage types. I think it's damage type array. And you could loop these keys. We'll do for each loop with break. if you want to have it a little bit more modular and you want to actually find the damage type without setting it always first in the data table, you would just do this, and then from this damage type array, we don't need to set it, we need to get damage type array. I'm just showing you the different version, and we will do find item, and we will be looking for this. So if in damage type array we find one stat on the item, that means this will return true if it's not -1. So if this is not equals -1, that means it found it. -1, and that way we can do branch, and first you would go to break, and then you would set up variable even that it found it, or you could do sequence here, sequence, and the first one would go to break, and second one will just continue here to set magic projectiles, but this would be the array element would be the damage type. That way it will always find the damage type that you have on the stuff, okay, because it will loop through the base stats. But as I said, this is much easier and you don't have to do any loops, so it's more performant as well. So always in a data table, if you go to blueprints, structs and DTs, items DT, you make sure that on the stuff in the base stats your damage type is first, so cold damage here, okay. It's just how you should really set it up. Anyway, this should be a first stat, even if when you display it, that's what should display first, so it kind of makes sense. So we do have damage now. That will set it automatically. Then what else we need to do? Then in the magic projectile, since we have set this damage type, we can get it here. From this emitter at location, we can do select. And here we'll connect this damage type. And again, this is all the stats, so it's a little bit long. But what we need to do is find all the damage types. And fire damage, we're going to do magic explosion fire. Cold damage, magic explosion cold. Poison is magic explosion poison. And lightning is magic projectile lightning? No, explosion lightning. Where is it? Lightning. Or did I name it magic projectile lightning? I don't think I did. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so this needs to be magic explosion. Magic explosion. Otherwise it will be confusing. Lightning. There we go. That makes more sense. So magic explosion lightning. Cool. So that will be explosion, and last thing you need to do is set the actual apply magic damage overlay, which will just connect the damage type, and there we go. So now by default it should be set to cold because my stuff has cold damage. There we go, it's firing cold projectile. But now if I change it in the data table and change this to fire damage, save it. Don't forget to reload the item in the game, because if you change something in data table, it won't change straight away without reloading map or anything else. So this will cause you a lot of issues. I mentioned it so many times. So reload this item, and then we do have fire damage. So I'll equip it. There we go. Now it's the fire damage. And last small adjustment I want to do is I feel like that overlay material we're applying is a little bit thin. So something I'm going to do, and that would makes it actually flicker a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is go to materials, magic projectiles, and here we got this outline base, and this thickness I'm going to change to 2 as a default. That will change it on all of them. Alright, there we go. I like that a little bit better, and it fades out. You can see it better from far away, and it will look actually even better when the enemy has armor equipped and so on. For now, we don't actually have different skeletal meshes on enemies. So cool, this is working fine, and now we want to apply damage. So for applying damage, let's start in the magic projectile. And first thing I want to do is here on this second part, what I want to do is I want to check if it's enemy, but we also want to do breakable box, so we'll have to check multiple tags. So instead of doing branches and checking is this enemy, and if it's not, then checking is this breakable and so on, as we did in arrow, I'm going to do it a little bit better way. So we're going to get other actor, and we're going to get tags, which is the actor tags. And from here we're going to get the first one, because on the first one we have if it's destructible or if it's enemy and so on. So we'll get the copy on index 0, and this is the actual tag. So we can do switch, because this is name. So we'll switch on name. And then here actually we're not going to do this now, this branch, we'll remove it and connect this instead. And now default will just go to destroy actor, because that means it doesn't have any tags. So if we hit ground or something, this is on overlap, so when we hit ground or something it will still explode and destroy itself. We will add the pin, and we need to type it in, which is enemy, so that is enemy tag. And on enemy we need to, from the damage causer, because damage causer is the one that is going to apply damage function, like call apply damage function. So we need to get component by class. Now we have it here. I'll just copy this one, and this one will be combat component, yeah, which is selected already. And from there we can apply damage. All right, so apply damage, that will go from the enemy. And I forgot that we need to also do apply damage overlay. So delete this one and just keep one. And this will go from enemy and to here to apply damage. So apply magic overlay and apply damage. For damage we actually need hit results and damage multiplier, damage causer, and all this stuff. Damage causer we have here, so we'll get it and connect it. Hit result, we basically can connect this sweep result, even though this sweep result doesn't return the bow name. But bow name on a magic projectile we don't need, because we don't want to apply decal anyway. So we'll just connect this sweep result. Damage multiplier, I will leave it at 1. You can customize it if you want, I'm happy with 1. And then for current stats and effects, before in the arrow we were passing it through this fire projectile, but we don't actually need to, because it's all saved in the different component. So we'll just get component again, copy it. Maybe I'll move it up here. And first we need to get the stats, so that is in stats component. And from there get stats. So those are the current stats at the time we're firing this projectile. So we can't change it as it's flying to something. And we also need one more, so move this all up. So same thing, get component by class, and we need to get effects, which is in conditions component. And get effects. There we go, and we got effects. And that's all that we need to do. Then we need to connect it to destroy actor, because we want to destroy the projectile as well. And we need to add one more pin, and this one will be breakables. Breakables. That's how I have it spelled in my breakable boxes. I saw someone that was looking for help, they had it spelled different, just breakable. So make sure you do the same one. If you're not sure, just go to actors and on wooden crate search for tag. There we go, breakables, and you can copy it. Also make sure it's on index 0, this main one. So enemy and breakables needs to be on index 0, because that is the index that we're getting in the magic projectile here as a tag. And then on the breakables, we want to also apply damage, because inside the apply damage we checking again if it's a breakable, then we just apply point damage so it destroys it. So we will do apply damage, but we want to apply magic overlay, and then it will destroy actor, and on default we just destroy actor. So now we don't need this part, compile and save, and this should be actually applying damage correctly now. So pick up the stuff. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, the hit effect is for the melee weapon, and for some reason it applied overlay to me, not to enemy. So I don't want that. So couple of issues. First, let's see that overlay. I probably just connected the wrong thing to damage causer. Damage causer should be the target of this. And okay, sorry. This is not the damage causer. We're applying magic overlay to the enemy, so that's other actor. This one here. Do we have it saved somewhere? No, we don't. So we need to get one more time. Just get one of these component by class. I deleted it, but it's basically from here, from other actor, get component by class, and that is the one that is applying magic overlay, not the damage causer. Alright, that's one thing. And then for the sound, we have it set on every weapon. So that is the sound that is playing. So if we go to items and go to my death whisper, and here we got flash hit. So I don't have any sounds yet for the staff. I'm not sure if I will add it in the video or just let you know where I add it, and then you can maybe download it in my Patreon. But for now I'm just going to, I don't know what's that. This is flash hit floating UI. There we go. This sounds like flame for now, just so we can hear something. Right. Now equip it again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's working fine. So as you can see, I can kill enemy with this. I'm not sure actually what I'm hitting when he's on the ground. He should be not having any overlaps. Okay, but apart from that, this is working. Let me just check what I'm actually hitting when he's dead. So we remove it when he dies. It's probably just a mesh. So other actor, after true branch, I'm going to do print string. I'm actually going to check other component, so it will print us exactly what is generating overlap events when he dies. So I'm going to kill this enemy one more time. 1, 2. Come on, crit. There we go, and now, yeah, it's just a skeletal mesh. Cool, so on the skeletal mesh of the enemy, third person blueprints, NPC, enemy blueprint, I'm going to go to mesh and generate, sorry, not here, in event graph we will find event death, health bar check, hit react, stagger, lock, attack. I'm going to search for it because there is lots of stuff here. So event death, and here in the end on the event death we're going to get mesh and set generate overlap events, and we'll switch it off when he dies, that way it won't be generating overlap events. Alright, or applying the overlay for the matter, because that is not good either. Okay, so try to kill him, and now there we go, no overlay. What am I hitting? I'm still hitting loot back. That's fine though, that's on the ground, that's an item. So we need to actually generate overlap events on that, because otherwise we won't be able to pick it up. And now, okay, so for the last issue that I want to do is, look, if I let this enemy run at me, and then I try to attack him, and he's next to me, I'm completely missing everything, because ball basically spawning where the stuff is, and it's missing him completely. So this obviously won't do in a combat, because that won't be very nice. I want to check if there is an enemy right before me, in front of me, and hit him. Sorry, I'm not sure if you can hear me very well if he's attacking me. Let me just run behind. So yeah, I want to be able to actually hit the enemy even if he's in front of me. So we will have to change the function slightly. Sometimes I hit, but that's exactly where I move the stuff sideways, so it just won't do. And now we got a lot of errors as well. Damage causer. I'm not even sure why, because maybe we missed the enemy a few times. Or maybe we will have to do validated get, but for now I'll just leave it as it is. And the way I want to do it is we're going to do small line trace in front of the player when we spawn this projectile. And then if that line trace hits, we will instantly explode it. We will check what that line trace actually hit, and that enemy will be the hit enemy. So we'll have to change a few things. First of all, I'm going to delete all these three so I can move this up. And we probably need to do it on the beginning here. Let me just move this velocity out of the way. So, to execute line trace, first what we need to do is, on this sphere, I'm going to turn off generate overlap events, because otherwise, as soon as it spawns, that might actually get fired first. Probably not, but it might mess up with the line trace as well, because if this hits first, then it gives us error or something. So I want to turn off the events, and only after that line trace we will turn them back on. So here we're just going to do line trace by channel. Channel will be visibility, because we want to trace for any objects, not just the enemy, because if we're standing against the wall, we also want the projectile to explode, not go through it. So start location, we need to get from damage causer, we will get actor location. So from the actual actor location, which will be in the middle of the player, then from here, from damage causer also we'll get forward vector. So get actor forward vector. We need to multiply this. So multiply and right click, convert to float, single precision. And this one will be like, I would say 200, which is 2 meters. That should be alright. So 200, and then we need to add it to this actor location because it's in 200 in front of the player, and that will be the end. For this trace we can do for duration, so we can see it. And actors to ignore, we're going to make array, even though it shouldn't hit the actual player, but you know, just in case, we're going to add damage causer to this. That's pretty much it. So that's line tracing, and then we will do branch, check if the written value was true, so if it hit something. And then here what we need to do is we need to break this hit result, and if it hits something, the hit actor, we will promote it to variable, and this one will be, yeah, just hit actor without a space. So what we have actually hit, and we also need to promote the hit result, because we will be using this one instead of the bottom one to apply damage. So hit result will be just hit result. There we go. And now, so if it was true, if it hit something, we will go all the way here to spawn emitter at location, and then do rest of it. But obviously here we're getting the actor from this part, so it won't be valid. So what we need to do, we also need to here set this hit actor right after this branch to odd actor, and hit result we will set to this sweep result. So we'll have two different ones, and then go to this same branch here. And now we just need to change it where we're actually getting it. So this one is nothing. So here we're going to get hit actor and get its tags. And switch on that. Then component, we're not going to go from other actor. We will go from hit actor. And then here we got damage causer, which is the same still. And last thing is just hit result here. We're not going just from the bottom branch, we're going to do hit result. That way it selects either from the top one or the bottom one. And then the rest of it should be the same. Damage causer is the same, effect, damage causer. I think that should be all. Now compile and save. And we'll see this visibility. So now this time I'll pick up the stuff. I'll go closer. And there we go. So hit result is right in front of me. So even if I'm standing very close, I'm not missing him because I'm hitting him with this result. So it instantly explodes. But the projectile still spawns on the stuff, which actually looks really nice because that's where it's supposed to be spawned. So that's where it's exploding and hitting the enemy anyway. So I can kill him. So if this enemy runs at me, I missed the first one. There we go. I'm hitting. You can still miss, obviously, if you character facing sideways slightly. So the line trace is going directly from the middle of him, okay, in front. But apart from that, yeah, it's working quite well. So I'm happy with this. There is just, I think one more adjustment is that I've noticed when I was testing it is that if my character is like dodging backwards and then by the time he turns around back to these enemies, sorry for the sound again, if you can hear me. So yeah, if I'm dodging backwards and by the time I turn around, it's taking forever. So I think we're going to change the rotation function on the character. So it kind of like snaps. Still will be on timeline, but it will be much faster. So he can rotate all the way backwards when he dodges. Because, you know, I'll be always missing a couple of first projectiles. Now wait, hold on. I can't actually hit him normally now. He's gonna give me some arrows. No. Why I can't hit him? Ah, sorry. On the false branch here, we need to just turn on the generate overlap events again. So in the sphere, set generate overlap events and turn it on. And one more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to actually increase this radius of this sphere to something like 100. I want to have a big sphere. It's easier to hit and it will actually register in time, so we don't have to change anything else. So now, even when I'm hitting this, it actually explodes in front of it because it has time to detect that collision. Same with enemies. There we go. Same with boxes. Right. And that's it. Yeah, only thing I want to change is the dodge slightly. So now let him run on me one more time. Bam, bam, I can hit him. So I think this is pretty good now as it is. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Bye.